here's Brody Brazil.
The video you've clicked on here is kind of a far departure from the normal content I like to put out here on my sports-based YouTube channel. So long as you're okay with that and you're understanding of that and you're still interested, let's get into this topic here. Because I was at Stone Ridge Mall the other day in Pleasanton, California. This is a place I've been going literally since childhood. In the late 80s, my mom took me here. In the 90s, I was a teenager. I drove my car here for the very first times. In the 2000s and 2010s, I came back, but here I was just a couple days ago, had to make a quick stop at the Apple store. I mean, we're right around the corner from Christmas. The holiday season is upon us. And this is typically one of the busiest places you'll ever see shopping-wise over all the decades. In the East Bay and in Northern California, this has been such a great mall for so long. But look at it now. I mean, almost hard to believe, and this is not a shock to me because I have been back in recent times, not a lot, but for whatever reason, on this Thursday morning, I was compelled to walk around and take a little video and share it here on the channel and talk about this situation. This is normally a mall where you never see it like this. You never used to see it like this. Maybe on a Monday morning, early in July, not much going on, or a late night in February, right? It would be this empty, but rarely would it be like this during the holidays at a middle morning hour. Kind of hard to believe. If I showed this to myself back in 2002, I'd say, where is everybody? Now, don't get me wrong. I realize what has changed here. The internet has changed all of this. The way people shop, their habits. Look, I'm not somebody who frequents this mall on any regular basis at all either. I think the last time I was here, before the other day, might have been 6 months ago. So I'm part of what's going on here, but that's what I wanted to talk about here in this video, is what's going on here. What I remember from childhood and walking around the mall and like that same tile floor, that same tile footprint, those are the same tiles on the floor that have always been there. I'll always remember that for some reason. That's the floor of Stone Ridge Mall for the rest of my life. I'll never forget what that floor looks like, but you rarely ever saw that floor without feet and people crisscrossing directions and bags and strollers and families and just busyness. Almost hard to navigate the corridors here, even on the upper level, because Stone Ridge Mall was always such a busy place. Here I am walking out to the exit, and this is some of the points I want to make here with this video. Shopping malls in 2024 are pretty depressing. And I know some are still doing well out there. Valley Fair down in San Jose, from what I understand, as busy as can be. It's packed. There's people there. The stores are all open. That's another thing here. There was a lot of storefronts that were boarded up. And some of the main tenants that used to be at Stone Ridge Mall, Sears for one, that entire department store closed down, empty. I don't necessarily know what they're going to do with it next. I've heard different plans, maybe even making it residential. We'll see what they do with all that land and that space and those buildings of Stone Ridge Mall. Some malls, locally, regionally, and across the country, I understand are still doing well. But it seems like most aren't. And I don't intend to be the old guy here and tell you how it used to be in the 90s and the 2000s, and I imagine most of the demographic of you watching this YouTube video, you're way younger than me, so I do come off as that old guy right now, but this is not the way it used to be. And I'm not wondering what happened. I know what happened. The internet killed the vibe. People want something, they used to go out and get it at the mall. And I still think, by the way, if it's clothes, I feel like that was the mall was there for that. It was perfect for trying that something on so you could at least see what it was, if it fit, if you liked the color, if the color looked accurate to the brochure or the internet page or wherever you were looking at it. You could try it on and feel the clothes on you. You go buy the clothes in person. But the internet killed the shopping vibe. People want something, they're going to get it online, they're going to get it in a day or two. They're willing to wait so long as they can make the purchase just like that. They don't have to drive to the mall, get the item, bring it back. It's, I guess, easier and more convenient to do it on the internet, on your phone, than actually go out and get it at the mall. But the internet killed shopping malls. And this is nothing new, but again, when you see it, and when I saw it at a place I was familiar with during the holidays, I don't know, this could have hit me, I suppose, last year too. Maybe the mall was like this last year. Maybe I just caught it on a terrible day. You tell me if I'm wrong in the comment section below. Have you seen Stone Ridge Mall better than that typically? Have you seen your local mall a lot better than that? Because this is hitting me, like I said, in a different way than ever before. The mall used to be, growing up, somewhat of a default gathering spot. Like if you had nothing else to do as a teenager or somebody maybe in your early 20s, you could go to the mall and you don't even have to buy anything. You look around, you walk around, there's always a food court there. You're just kind of taking a stroll. You're perusing. You're not even necessarily making the purchase or shopping, you're perusing. And it was a default gathering spot. It was a place to go, kind of like movie theaters, which I'll get to also in just a second. But it makes me wonder here, now that we've seen shopping like this, the mall like that, and people buying stuff off the internet and their phones like this, will the mall ever come back? Will we ever see the heyday of shopping malls again, or are they done? Are they bound to look like the video that I just shared with you there? And then there's movie theaters, which I think is crazy. This is also depressing. The experience of going to the movies is way better now than it ever was in the 80s or 90s or 2000s. And I mean, because now they've got the stadium seating or the reclining chairs. I just went to 2 movies in the last 2 weeks, which honestly, again, I'm guilty of this. I probably hadn't gone to 2 movies in the same year for a couple years. And there's a couple different reasons for that. I'll get to those reasons in just a second. But going to the movies twice in a short span, neither time was it packed. I mean, there were people there. It was busy. But don't get me wrong, there used to be a line out the door to go to some movies on some nights. And I don't even mean like a premiere or something that just came out. Like the movies were that busy back in the day. It was something to do. It was one of the big things to do. And actually, if you look at the movie choices out there, and I'll tell you, went to Moana 2 with my son and family, and I went to Wicked with my wife. Those are the movies I saw. But other than those two, there weren't a lot of other even choices out there. It used to be where you look in the newspaper, I know, and you look at the listings, and there were 8 different movies on 8 different screens. And there would be a couple show times. Wicked was on at like 6:15, 6:25, 6:45, 6:55, 7:15, because there's only 3 movies on 10 screens. They can play that thing every 25 minutes or so. There's not a lot of movies being made to go in theaters. So there's not a lot of choices. The movie industry isn't what it was, let alone these venues with screens. They're not the same either. And yeah, some of it pandemic related. They kind of stopped making movies as much. They stopped making the summer blockbusters as much. And a lot of movie screens and movie theaters, they shut down. I know of several here right around where I live. They're just no longer. There's only a select few when there used to be 2 and 3 times as many movie theaters around here. But I do have to say, going to the movies, every single time I do this, I know in the same way that the internet, killed the shopping mall for right now, maybe forever, streaming and the ability to watch shows and honestly, the quality of series that you can binge now on Apple TV, on Netflix and Hulu and, HBO Max, like you name the service, they're coming out with such quality shows that are movie-like and have 20 episodes or even 10 episodes a season. It's like watching a movie at your home every night, that type of quality. So the amount of shows and the production is still happening. That has ramped back up, but there is nothing like watching a movie on the big screen. And here at our house, we've got a pretty decent sized television. Like, you know me, I made sure of that. I'm a watcher of sports and television. When we moved in, and we've had it for a while, it's not new, it's not 4K, but it's a pretty decent sized screen. I also made sure we put in a really good 5.2 surround system, sound system. And so I wanted to make that experience good for viewing, and it has been for about 10 years now. But there is nothing like, as good as we have it here on our screen and our setup, there's nothing like going to the movies, and now there's no more film. It's all digital display, and the sound quality is amazing. The screen is enormous. There's nothing like the big screen, but still, now that we're at this phase of technology, we're missing it on the amount of movies And they were making bad movies, I'll be honest, for a lot of the 80s and 90s. Into the 2000s, there were some movies I saw in theaters that they shouldn't have been there, but they were. And now the movie studios have kind of stopped making those movies. But there's nothing still like watching a great movie on the big screen. Your house will never replicate that. As much as there are other options for your home and streaming, there's kind of just nothing like actually being at a proper movie, sitting at a proper theater, and enjoying it the old school way. So shopping malls, theaters, kind of depressing here at the end of 2024. I just wanted to put that out there. You let me know in the comments section. Am I close on that? Am I far off on that? Just kind of a personal rant I wanted to get into here on the YouTube channel. Thumbs up down below helps me, this video, and this channel. Also go down there and make sure that you are already subscribed to this channel. That way I can definitely see you for some more sports talk next time.